Hi, Dr. Alex here. Today I'd like to talk to you about something that's been on my Anyways, today I'd like to talk to you about one of the most offensive things a Christian can tell an atheist. Pause the video now and try to take a guess on what you think it is. Go ahead, pause it. I'll wait. What did you think it was? I'll pray for you? What if I'm right? Could you be wrong about everything you claim to know? Ha ha ha, we covered that already, and hopefully I'll never have to do it again. Actually, it may not be what you think, so I'm gonna let my good buddy Ray Comfort tell you.
I'd be in jail if I wasn't a Christian.
And if you thought I wasn't gonna poo-poo on Ray Comfort, haha, you're dead wrong. In fact, you should tune into the channel this November because as everybody else knows, November is Ray Comfort Month. What was I talking about? Basically, what Ray is saying is that if there are no moral absolutes, we should be free to do whatever we want. And the reasons that atheists don't go around killing and raping is because God has written these moral laws in our heart. This bothers me for a few reasons. This says a hell of a lot more about Ray than it does about me. Think about what he's saying here. If he didn't believe in God, he'd be in prison? Lock this man up now because clearly he has some horrifying desires that he's suppressing. And definitely keep him away from bananas. The key difference between our views on morality here is while I behave morally because I wish to avoid causing pain to others, or society because I'm able to empathize with others, Ray is moral only because he wants to get into heaven. Imagine this, if the 10 Commandments were reworded by some true revelation from God and now read, "Thou shalt kill," how would Ray react to this?
Many times the real thought has come to my mind.
Would he listen to God, mount his crocodile, and begin his Viking-like raping and pillaging of the villages around him? And to what end? To get to heaven? By his rationale, he'd cause unspeakable torment and suffering to people in order to appease his God and get some eternal reward?
I'd be in jail if I wasn't a Christian.
Many times the real thought has come to my mind.
If our conscience is written on our hearts like Ray says, even if he became an atheist, he would be actively going against his conscience. It takes a special kind of psychopath to say something like that. Speaking of which, have you ever read the morality of the Bible recently? My favorite torture story, and I know what you're gonna say, how can you possibly pick a favorite, has to be the story in Judges 19. This is the one where a group of men wanted to have sex with an old man's male guest. So instead, the old man offered up his virgin daughter and his guest's concubine for them to rape and kill. Which they did, but it doesn't end there. The owner of the concubine puts her corpse on his donkey, brings her home, cuts her up into 12 pieces, and mails her body parts to the tribes of Israel. Aww, ever cute? Atheists don't necessarily believe or require moral absolutes. Nor do we have all the answers. There's so many ways we could study what is moral, but in my opinion, the majority of them stem from our ability to empathize. We have the ability to create and interact with models of people in our mind. And using that ability, we can evoke real emotions. This allows us to put ourselves in someone else's shoes and essentially feel their pain. If one thing the Bible got right, or more specifically Jesus, is the rule about doing to others what we'd have done to ourselves. Sometimes it's very clear like murder. You can't have more deaths than births in order for a society to continue to exist. Morality is an evolving process. Over time, we learn how to gauge the cost-benefit of our behaviors and actions in a society, and the Bible is a mirror of how far we've come. At one time, we endorsed slavery, but we now know, by use of utilitarianism and empathy, that this did not cause the greatest good for the society, as the slaves were unhappy, and not having slaves wouldn't really upset most people today. Nothing is black and white. Only the Bible is. And not dissecting what's right or wrong by use of empathy, or sometimes the lesser of two evils, and only focusing on the rewards of some afterlife is 100% absolutely morally wrong. I've been Dr. Alex. Why doctor? Because clearly some people are in need of one. Have a nice Sunday, bye!